Hey, what's up guys? Sermo11 here with an E3 video on the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wind. Now, I haven't been making videos for a little bit, but I'm back and I'm here to talk about Zelda. This is going to be unscripted because I want to get the video out so people can see it, so people actually watch it. So I took some notes, so there might be some slip-ups and stuff in the video, but whatever. So, Nintendo showed off their two games today. Two games so far. I don't know if they were going to show anything else. I know Zelda was the big one that they were going to show. And then they announced that Pokemon was also being shown. And I don't know if they announced some other titles or anything. I know yesterday some, what were they? Like some of the smaller developers, the indie developers, showed off some of their games. And those look pretty cool. So, Zelda and Pokemon. So, I was just like, oh, I got to see Nintendo in the morning. I set my alarm clock. And then I stayed up really late, and it's like, oh, E3 starts in 3 hours. Might as well not go to sleep. And then I wake up, and it's like 11 or before 11. And I don't know what I was thinking. I don't even think I was thinking anything at that point. I just went back to sleep. And then I woke back up within 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, oh, I have to watch E3. That's what that alarm was for. So they started off with Zelda, and right away, there's some voice acting in the game, and I think that's good. Voice acting is good. I've been watching a lot of Game Explain videos. I like Game Explain. I watch those videos all the time. And one of the things they talked about, or that they thought was going to be in the game, was voice acting. And I don't know what to the extent that voice acting is in the game, but so far it's like the, I wouldn't say the narrator, but like the voice guiding Link pretty much is voice acted. And I wouldn't mind having Link have an actual voice. Everyone's like, oh, it's not going to be like what you think it's going to sound like. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't matter. I mean, the voice is coming from the company, so that's what they intended it to sound like. So your opinion really shouldn't matter in that. Like, I don't think you're going to be like, oh, Link's voice sounds stupid, I'm not going to buy the game. Like, you're going to buy the game anyway, so they might as well do whatever voice they want. And I think Link could be pretty easy to cast as a voice. I mean, you already have like the sound effects and everything. You can just have that person do Link's voice. So voice acting is good, and I think really it's been like this for a while, but we're getting to a point where all games should be voice acted. Especially, well, not all games, but if you have a lot of text in your video game, definitely should be voice acted. Like, I can't think of like an example or anything, but I know it was a game I played a while ago. I think it was Fire Emblem. Was Fire Emblem, that wasn't fully voice acted? Yeah. Fire Emblem had like grunts and stuff, and they had voice acting here and there, and the voice acting sounded great, and I wanted more of that. So Zelda, I don't know how much text Zelda has, but I know people are talking in Zelda. Link's talking to all these different people and stuff, and there is text on the screen. That needs to be voice acted, and I think it would make the game a lot better. For me personally, I like voice acting in video games, and I think it puts you in the video game more, and it brings the video game, it gives the video game more life. So I think voice acting is kind of a must for Zelda. And I know people are like, oh, Link doesn't need a voice. Well, he doesn't have to have a voice per se. I think it would kind of throw things off if he did have a if everyone else had a voice and Link didn't have a voice. I think that'd be a little bit weird, but either way, I would like to see voice acting in the game, and I don't know what to extent Nintendo's doing that, but yeah, you need voice acting in your video game. The voice that was talking to Link, like the guiding voice or whatever, was a female voice. I don't know if that's going to be like, does he always have like a fairy or some sort of spirit with him throughout the game? I don't follow Zelda that heavily, but it seems like in most of the games he has something with him that talks. So like in Minish Cap, he had the hat. I think it was Elzo or something like that. Navi, and then he had, what was the other thing he had? The sword spirit or whatever. So, I mean, different stuff like that, and maybe this voice will be like the thing following him. I don't know if it has a physical form yet, but we'll probably see that. And trailer kind of starts off with the female voice just telling Link to wake up and everything. And we just see some of the trailer, we get to see some of the landscape. And I remember in the Game Explain video, one of their worries was like that the open world would look very plain and bland, and that's kind of how it looks in this game. Or I think the word they used was empty. You know, it looked kind of empty. You know, I saw a few creatures there in front of Link, but I want to see some creatures way off in the distance, since all of this is loaded, right? Because Link can go anywhere on the map. Anything that you see, if you see a mountain in the distance, Link can go to that. So I would have liked to see some enemies more scattered around and everything. It was very empty for a video game, but I don't know what's their approach for this game. So it's empty and everything. Maybe that's like more like real life, you know? You wouldn't see animals like everywhere. You wouldn't see animals all over the place. So maybe it's more realistic in a way, but I don't know. We get to see all the different stuff from the trailer. We get to see Link trying to get on a horse, shooting arrows, using an axe to chop down a tree. He can cook and stuff in this game. I think that's a new feature. And the game has good graphics, but they still have like the Skyward Sword feel. It's like if you took a filter, like the Skyward Sword filter, and put it on this game, that's what this game looked like. And I don't know if it was like the video, because YouTube had it at 720p instead of like 1080p or anything like that. So the graphics look good, but it's like, oh, they can look better and everything. It didn't really look HD to me, but I know it's an HD game. I don't know. The Skyward Sword, it almost seems like a painted art style, and it seems kind of not really dark, but it's like not really light either. It's like in the middle. It's like between dark and light. And I don't know. I feel like that could look better. I think they need a brighter art style. I don't know. It's like Twilight Princess was too dark, and then Skyward Sword and this game are just in the middle. You know, you need to be in the light, you know, make it look better. And again, Nintendo just showing Zelda and Pokemon. You know, that's cool and everything, but they needed more games. And it's like, what if I don't like Zelda? What if I don't like Zelda? What if I don't like Pokemon? Why am I watching this? Why? You know, they had plenty of stuff they could have shown. Like, they could have shown third-party stuff. I would have been cool with that if they had, like, a conference or something, or a digital event, and they showed mostly third-party stuff. I wouldn't have minded that at all, but just, like, showing Zelda and Pokemon. I think Pokemon's really big, but I know Zelda's also really big. It's just, like, I don't care that much, you know. It's Zelda. I like Zelda in a way, but you know, It's like, oh, that's the big thing, I was more there for the Pokemon stuff. And I didn't really like the way they presented this whole thing. It's like, oh, we're gonna have a treehouse all day. And they showed a little bit of Zelda, they showed the trailer or whatever, and then they went into Pokemon for a little bit, and then back to Zelda, and it's just like, I don't really want to watch people play this video game. Like, the trailer was good enough, you can talk about a few features showing Link doing this and that, but the hosts were kind of annoying, kind of lame, and I don't know, it was just kind of boring and like uninteresting. The environment in the game can be used more. We see Link like pushing boulders down and everything, so he can kind of influence the environment. The new book that he has is supposedly, there's like technology in the game basically. So like the bombs and a lot of things look more technological. We saw in the initial trailer like the bow and arrow looked more technological. So yeah, this book can create different structures and everything for Link to climb on. There was a magnet, he was dropping things on enemies and stuff. So you can do a lot, you know. That's cool. I think I talked about this. Did I talk about this? But I don't think I talked about this. It's open world. So yeah, you can go anywhere, but I think the story is kind of lessened, and that's more on Nintendo's fault. That's not like, oh, it's open world, there's going to be less story. I think they mentioned how they said the story, there wasn't anything on the story after the game started, and there's just a point they mentioned, but I thought it was kind of dumb. Like, why wouldn't there be a story? And basically this game runs differently. Link can go anywhere that he wants. He doesn't have to do the dungeons in a specific order or anything, and I guess that kind of destroys the story in a way, because it's like, oh, you can go anywhere, so like the story might have to be similar at different parts. You might meet this person here, you might meet them here, like it doesn't really matter. And it's like Nintendo's starting to grasp concepts that other studios are using and everything, but they still kind of mess it up. It's like, oh, we're gonna do something a little different, you know, what if there's less story? It's like, what? And one thing that I noticed from the Sony conference was that the games had great narratives to go alongside with the gameplay, and it was almost like watching and playing a movie. And I feel like Nintendo should do something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be like cutscenes that you can play, but it's like cool. It would be cool if we had more cutscenes in the games, voice acting, full voice acting in the games, and maybe make it so Link has to go to the specific location instead of letting players go wherever they want. Because open world doesn't mean lack of story. Open world is a term that I see thrown around all the time, and it's like, what exactly does open world mean? Does that have to follow like a structure or anything? Because I believe someone said, oh, it's like GTA. In GTA, you can go anywhere, but there is also a story in GTA, and you have to go to specific places for that story. And I haven't played much of GTA 5, but I played some of GTA 3, and that's how it works, you know. You can go wherever you want, but you have to go to like this specific garage to trigger the next story event. So why can't Zelda be more like that? And overall, I thought this stream was kind of a letdown, you know, showing 2 games. Zelda is the big game this year, I guess, and Zelda's kind of boring to me. And then you're having all this gameplay for Zelda, playing Zelda for hours on end. And I don't think anyone wants to watch. I don't think anyone wants to watch you play Zelda all day. You know, I think people enjoy the initial trailer. They enjoyed watching some of the gameplay, but I don't think they want to sit there all day for hours and watch you just play a video game. And I feel like an actual conference would have done them better. Not a digital event, an actual conference, because I thought the conferences were better than this. Really, I don't know if I want to say this is like the worst of E3, but it's on the bottom. it's near the bottom. Like this versus the conferences. And I mean, yeah, a digital event would have been better than this, but I feel like a conference would have been even better. You know, I like hearing like all the fan stuff and everything. I guess that's really like the only benefit of a conference. There's nothing really like super important in a conference versus a digital event, but a conference has more life and makes you feel like you are actually there, opposed to a digital event where you're just like tweeting on Twitter and it's like, oh, people are enjoying this too, but like the conference, you can hear everything. And I think I kind of talked about mostly everything that I wanted to talk about. Like I saw some of the gameplay and I started to skip through it. I watched all the Pokemon gameplay because I'm a huge Pokemon fan, but I'm like, oh, he's playing Zelda. Oh, he's chopping a tree down. Yeah, this is kind of boring. But anyways, those are my thoughts on The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wind. What did you think about this? I'm sure you loved it more than me. Let me go find my outro. Super unprofessional. You know, I thought about this. I thought about putting the outro in the script or the notes before this, but I didn't. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like my content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. The links are below. I'm Surma11. See you next time, and peace out.